Today we're going over new construction secrets exposed. Here's what they won't tell you until it's too late. But first, if you're new to the channel, I just want to say welcome. This is the Faith and Finance YouTube channel where we tell you how to steward your money and also live just a good life. So if you haven't done so yet, smash that subscribe button. Again, thank you for being here. Now picture this, you're in the market for a brand new home and you're looking to purchase a new construction property. You found that builder in that community that you really want to go with. It's amazing. You show up to the site, you sign in the welcome sheet, you get a cookie and a brochure, and before you know it, you're picking those upgraded cabinets. You're looking at all the different upgrades and styles that you can go with, and you're so excited because you know what? This home is going to be yours. But here's the reality of things that they don't tell you when you show up to a site like that. The cookie and the brochure come at a cost. And before you know it, you have signed away your right to use the real estate agent of your choice or the loan officer of your choice. So I'm going to give you some of the top things to look at when you're purchasing new construction homes. You have to watch this video all the way through because I have a special gift for you at the end. First, let's go over the builder's game. How do they control the deal? Well, builders own the land and they own the new construction. They're the ones building the house. And not every builder is bad. Not every builder is great. It all depends on what you find. But here's how they control the game. When builders are building properties, they partner with loan officers and they partner with real estate agents. And in these agreements, the builders say, hey, Mr. Buyer, if you use this loan officer, if you use this real estate agent, we're going to give you some great incentives. We're going to pay for your closing costs. We're going to give you some free upgrades that would usually cost you thousands. All you have to do is use the loan officer and use the real estate agent. To you, that might seem like an innocent thing. Well, hey, I'll use their real estate agent. I'll use their loan officer, but here's what happens. A lot of times those free upgrades, those closing cost assistance come at a price to you. Let's remember, nothing in this world is free. And how it is done is through maybe a higher interest rate or junk fees added to your loan estimate. So when you go onto a site and you see the incentives or the closing cost assistance, make sure you're doing your due diligence and reviewing every fee and also getting a second opinion. You want to make sure that you're not paying for a high interest rate, because here's the thing about interest rates. Sometimes the higher the interest rate, the more the lender is going to make, depending. Here's the reality. Sometimes with the higher interest rate, yes, it might seem like you're getting a bunch of free closing cost assistance, but you're really paying for a higher interest rate. So that simple upgrade, that simple incentive, over 30 years could cost you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 more. So make sure you're paying attention to the word free when you're shopping for new construction. Number two, another mistake that I see or something that they won't tell you is when you show up to the site. Now, whenever you show up to a builder site, there is typically a book, and this book, they will say, hey, make sure you sign our welcome book or make sure you sign the check-in book. But what they don't tell you is that when you're signing that book, you are waiving your right to a real estate agent. What? You're waiving your right to use your own real estate agent. So here is how you fix the problem. Here is an immediate action item that you can do when shopping for new construction. Make sure you never show up to the site without the real estate agent that you choose. Make sure you take them with you. If not, they could potentially not be allowed to represent you. Just because you didn't sign the book doesn't mean you can't use your agent. Here's the other reality. Some builders have a rule that if you do not show up at the first visit with a real estate agent, you cannot use your real estate agent and you have to use one at the builder's site. You got to pay attention to this and make sure that you're doing your due diligence prior to ever going into a new construction. Here is what I suggest. I suggest reaching out to a loan officer that you want to work with, and they can introduce you to an amazing real estate agent that's going to be a disinterested party that will represent you, the client, and that doesn't only have the builder or anything else as their interest. You want somebody that's working for you. You don't want somebody that's also representing other people. So make sure that when you go to a new construction, number one, you get pre-approved with a loan officer of your choice, and then we can introduce introduce you to a real estate agent that you can vet to see if it's going to be a good fit for you. Don't be forced into a relationship with a real estate agent if you don't want to work with them. I have heard horror stories about that. The other part of it is if you go to a site with your real estate agent, sometimes they're going to force you to use the loan officer that is considered the preferred lender. While sometimes that is going to be great incentives for you, I'm not going to say that it's always bad. Some of the other times it becomes a nightmare because you're forced to work with somebody that you just haven't created a relationship with. So make sure when you're going to a new construction site, you've done your due diligence to make sure you get to pick who is on your team. That is what this process is all about. Assembling the team that you want, assembling the people that you want to represent you. So make sure you never show up to a new construction site without first talking to a loan officer that you choose or a real estate agent of your choice. Next thing is understanding the builder's contract. Now, these contracts are not your customary contracts that you would see provided by the state. So they look a little different. And I don't know about you, but most people don't read real estate contracts every single day. What you want is you want somebody on your side to read this contract. And now this kind of plays into our previous tip. You want a person that is representing you, a real estate agent that is representing you, to read over that purchase contract to see if there's any addendums, to see if there's any little verbiage that's been added, making sure that you're protected. I'm not saying that every single person is going to try to hide stuff. What I am saying is that if you're purchasing one of the biggest purchases of your life, you want to make sure that you have your team on your side. That would be like me showing up to court and not getting a lawyer. I want to pick who's representing me. I want to know that they have my best interest at heart. So just make sure that when you're reading a builder's contract, that you have somebody with you that can help navigate every single section of that contract, because it doesn't look the same. I've had a lot of people say, well, I've purchased a house before, so I understand how that contract works. It's not the same contract most of the time. So just make sure that you have somebody with you that can help navigate the upgrades, navigate the extensions, navigate most of this process. Because here's the thing about new construction, sometimes it might take a little longer than we previously thought, and that's normal, completely normal. Make sure you understand what happens in that case for your rate extensions or any type of added cost for it being delayed. Again, you want somebody there to help you. Make sure you're not showing up by yourself. Now look, I'm not anti-new construction. I think new construction is an amazing product. You get to choose the community you want to live in. You get to choose your home. You get to choose your finishes, your cabinets and countertops. Everything is brand new. No one has ever lived in it before because you're building it. The idea of a new construction is so cool. And I believe that it is sometimes the best opportunity for someone to purchase a home. You have energy efficient homes now. You have builder warranties. These homes are low maintenance, low cost because everything is brand new. Also, there's a lot of potential for appreciation in certain neighborhoods. You want to make sure that you're looking at each of these builders and their products and walking through and seeing the model homes. And it really is exciting to build a new construction. I've had many people build new construction and it's amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful homes. And it really is a cool opportunity to take advantage of getting a house without competition. We know right now that a lot of homes on the market, there's a lot of competition right now. Everybody putting offers in. I have one house that somebody's put in 7 offers already ahead of theirs to purchase this house. But on a new construction, sometimes you don't have those hurdles. You get to go to the site, you get to pick out your land where you get to build your future home. The whole vision comes into life. So buying a new construction is not all bad. However, there are little intricacies that you have to pay attention to when purchasing new construction, or you could be left out to dry and have to deal and navigate this thing with a team that you did not choose. So here are some pro tips to protect yourself. Never show up to the site without an agent of your choice. And always make sure you talk to a loan officer of your choice before ever looking at a new construction home. Get a second loan estimate, meaning get a second quote from someone else. If you end up having to go with the builder's preferred lender, make sure you get a second estimate so you know that you're not paying for junk fees or inflated interest rates to cover that closing cost assistance. Number 3, still hire a private home inspector. Even though it's new construction, I would still want a peace of mind that everything was done right and nothing was missed. It's always good to have a second pair of eyes on what you're purchasing. Ask the builder what happens in delays. What happens? Who pays for certain rate extensions? Also, is there a per diem cost? Meaning, if it goes further than your closing date, are you having to pay daily to the builder? That can happen. So you want to make sure that you're diving into the very intricate parts of what happens if the project is delayed. Lastly, always have your agent review pricing upgrades and market value. The worst thing that you could do is go for every single upgrade imaginable, and then you've outpriced your home in the neighborhood and there's no comparables to comp it. Yeah, you got a great home with a ton of fixtures, very expensive, but if the value's not there, you could be in a bad situation later on. Remember, new construction's not all bad. However, you need to know what they won't tell you. And this video explains it all. If you've stuck around to the end, I just want to say thank you. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Also, in the bio, I have downloaded a new construction checklist. It's free. Download it. If you're thinking about purchasing a new construction home, you could also book a home strategy call with me, and we can help you navigate that process all the way through. Thank you again for watching. Smash the subscribe button.